Hi guys, I got this new chainring and cranks for my bike, my electric bike. Now I noticed a lot of YouTube videos show you how to replace them on a mid-drive e-bike, not a hub drive like mine is. So we're gonna go through that. First, I got this from Amazon. It's from a company, Acolyte, I think that's how you say it. But I'm replacing a 48 tooth chainring on my electric fat bike with a 32 as well as the cranks. So see what we got. I'm gonna bring you through the whole process. We got the screws, put it on, cool. That's convenient because I don't have any. And the cranks are in here. These are really light. Nice black square taper just what we need. Looks like this. It's got some kind of writing on it. All right, that's one pedal, the left side, and the right side for the chainring. This is double compatible with two different standard chainrings, so I like that option. I can put on a smaller one if I choose. And we got the chainring in a little package. It's 32 tooth, like I said. It all came in a package, all this for I think 50 bucks. We got the chainring. So we say we put it together. Okay, so putting it together is pretty simple. You need obviously the crank, the chainring, the bag of the bolts to put it together. Now, Allen key. This one I found takes 3/16 Allen key, and then something to hold the back piece. You need something thin, long, hard. They make a tool for it, but I don't have it. Ruler works. Goes right through both slots. So let's get this on. And like I said, it's a pretty simple process. I had 4 seizures last night and I'm doing this, so it just goes to show how simple this is. Now if you look first, there's an arrow on this. Now you want that going with the crank arm and the writing on the outside. So let's line this up. The arrow's going down. There we go. So this is a 104 BCD chainring, by the way. Modernized my e-bike because it had a direct mount ring on it. It was just easier to go this route. All right, so we're gonna take first screws. Put them in the front, obviously. Remember, line up that arrow with the crank. It's gonna take some fiddling to get all the screws to line up. Me, I like putting them on all at once. It's just easier that way. Now take the screw end and strap it on. Just need enough threads to get it started. If I can get it started. There it goes. Now it's all the way down. I'm gonna have it all the way down. All right. Get that one started. Get this one started. Okay. I don't want to put these gears into my shirt. That one started. It gets easier as you go. Get more used to it. That was the last one. I could flip it over. Sometimes you just gotta get it a little bit backwards to get it started. Yeah, get the thread started. And there she goes. Alright. So they're all started. They're all pretty much on there. Now what we're gonna do, I'm left-handed, so this is gonna be awkward. I'm gonna take the ruler. There's, if you can see, there's 2 little slots in the back there, just to hold it. Take the ruler through those slots. This is just how I do it. There's, like I said, there's a tool for it. You don't even need both slots, really, just one. Okay. Get that one. I'm just going to use my hand for now. It's easier until I need to tighten them fully. Okay. So all I'm doing is putting pressure on the back plate. Keep it still. I'm not fully tightening it yet. Just want to gradually tighten it. Don't tighten it too much. You might bend it or break it. There. It's on. Let's go put it. Sorry. Let's go get the other ones off the other bike and replace it. We'll go through that whole process. So here's my electric fat bike. It's a DJ Bikes electric fat bike. It's got the rear hub motor. And here's what we're looking at. We got 48 tooth chainring that is just, it's just impossible to pedal without the motor. So we're gonna start taking the pedals off because I'm keeping them. And then we'll remove this bolt. We need a crank puller, which I have, and then this whole piece comes off all as one. The other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. Take the pedal off, take this bolt out, take the crank arm off, and just basically put the new ones back on. And then after that, we're going to make sure the chain, that's important, the chain is the right size. We're shrinking the chain ring. We're going to have to shrink the chain. Let's get started, shall we? Alright, so let's start. We're going to start with the pedal. It's just easier with it on the crank arm. So you gotta remember with pedals, the way I remember is just back off, you know, like go away. That's how they come off. You turn towards the back for them to come off. What I have is an 11/16 wrench, usually pretty stiff. Give them some tugging, but this one, oh, it's not very stiff, this one. Make a liar out of me. Anyway, yeah, let's just keep on with the wrench. You want to make note, if it's not written on the pedal, which one's the left and which one's the right. Me, I like working over, back, and there goes the pedal. So there, it's off. Look around, somewhere it might have it marked which one's the left, which one's the right. Ah, there's a mark right there. Right there on the back. There's where it marked right. That's important. Now we're going to grab 5/16 Allen key for this crank. They're usually pretty tight. This one's been taken off to be cleaned. So these are threaded normally. So it comes off pretty easily. I mean, it's stiff, but it doesn't take an army to loosen it because, like I said, it's been off recently to be cleaned. I also took a bash guard off of it. Alright. Should have done this before I started. Put some work gloves on. Alright, now we're going to want the crank puller. It's just a tiny little tool. Tiny little thing, looks like this. It's got one end threaded, you screw into here. It's got another end where you turn it, it pushes this out. Pushes the crank arm off. So you're going to want to be careful, especially if you're reusing these cranks, not to strip these threads. So get them started nice and easy. There we go. Screw it in as far as you can. Maybe give it a little tighten so it doesn't strip. Wrong size wrench for this. Okay. Anyway, it's hand tight. And I just keep turning this. This one is tight because it's tapered. So when you screw that screw in there, it pushes it into a thicker part of the bottom bracket. So it just stays on there thick. And there you go. There's the one crank arm off. And just take this out, start over. But, I back off this first, just in case. Whew. Yeah, there's dog hair everywhere. I'm glad I'm not using this. But anyway, the reason I'm reusing this is just stuck on there and I don't have the right tool to get it off. So I just said forget it. Just forget it. Buy a new set of cranks. There we go, loosen that up. Now while you have this off, it'd be a good chance to clean all in here. This is like a tone ring for, you know how like a car has ABS and skid control. This is the same basic thing, but it turns on the motor. So if it doesn't detect any movement, the motor doesn't turn on. All right, let's get to the other side. All right, let's get the left side crank off. Pretty easy job so far, right? Now, need the 11/16 wrench for the pedal. Remember, back off. This way they come off. I just clean these so they're not hard to take off. But sometimes they can be pretty stiff. This only has one notch in it to catch it, so it's a little awkward. Ooh. That's loose enough to do with your fingers. Get at her. There we go. There's the left crank off. Put it aside. Now if you notice, I'm doing this with the bike on the ground. I got a lot more leverage, and I like to stand over the bike. Again, for leverage. And this bolt goes the normal direction, left to loosen. So you don't want to hold it. And it just, again, leverage. This one I didn't take off recently, so it's pretty stuck. All right, now more leverage pulling up. Holy crap. Like I said, they can get tight. Whew. Back up a bit. Back up from the camera. Okay, that's tight. Leverage is your friend. Wherever you can find leverage, give her. Anyway, same process. Take this bolt out, pull it. Whew. Just trying to find some extra leverage here. It's a lot harder. A lot harder than the last one. I need more leverage for this thing. Let me get a different tool. Alright. So I got more leverage. Realized I don't have the right size Allen key for my socket, so I just got a screwdriver, put on the end. It's the same size. So a little bit extra leverage. Let's hope this works. Sometimes this is easier with the pedal on, but let's try pushing it down instead. Just hold it like so. There she goes. Took a lot of convincing, but we broke it. Sometimes they're that stiff. I've had to use a breaker bar. Whew. Alrighty, now she's coming out like butter smooth. Here she goes. Let's put that aside. Don't lose it. Need to keep it. Need to reuse it. Since the other cranks didn't come with bolts. Now we want our crank puller. Put that on. Whew. There we go. If you feel any resistance, you might want to back off. That means you got it cross-threaded. That's bad. Okay. Okay, we're gonna need more levers than just doing this for kneeling. So make sure that's in there good. Keep getting his handlebars in the back of the neck. It's a slow process when these haven't been taken off in a while. There she goes, she's coming. Always handy to have work gloves on. Save your hands. I'm just moving it centimeter by centimeter till it breaks. Give that hand a break, it's getting sore. Nope. There she comes. Just putting a lot of pressure on my kickstand, I might break it. It's coming. Oh, I found it. Move there. There she goes. There we go. Done. It's off. Oh, there's both cranks off. Now let's clean up those pedals, put them on the crank arms. Might want to clean that bottom bracket while I'm at it. So let's get to those pedals. All right, now I'm just sitting on the floor. I don't exactly have a table to work at right now. We're gonna clean these pedals, put them on. All you need is just a rag. Oh, so just a rag, fold it up, blah blah. You know how to clean grease off of things. Give the threads a few wipes. Easy peasy. It's so easy. Kid could do it. All right, now it's cleaned off. Give this one a few. There, done, clean. The grease is gone. The old grease anyway. We're gonna want to put new grease on there. So I have some. Whew. Now this method, this whole process is up to you. You're gonna want to either put the pedals on now or put the cranks on first. Now before you put the cranks on, of course, wipe down all this gunk. This pedal hasn't been clean, but the other one was, so I'll just give it a quick wipe now. Just a quick wipe. Whew. This one hasn't been off in a while, so. Put my gloves back on. Personally, I want to put the cranks on first and then do the pedals. It saves getting grease on the floor. So we're on the non-drive side. We're going to want the non-drive pedal. Take take a dab of grease. Don't need a bit, you know, just a fingerful. Try to turn that more. Just a dab. It's easier to spread it without gloves. So spread it around each side. Try not to get it in the holes. I try that anyway. There. So, grease is on. Put glove back on. Now it doesn't really matter which way the crank goes on, really, as long as they're in line. Otherwise, if you got two facing forward, you're not going anywhere. So let's just tap this on, push it, and then the bolt. Simple. Don't want to cross thread it, so I back threaded it a little bit. And my Allen key. I can feel it backing up now. That's as tight as I want it right now. I don't want it super tight because what if I need to take it off for whatever reason? Just make sure to remember to tighten it. All right, let's get to the other side. Same process. Now we're on the drive side. This side you're going to want gloves for. We've already cleaned our cranks, and our pedals. So a dab will do of grease. Spread it around. Doesn't have to be a thick coat, you know, just enough to say if you ever need it off, it's not going to be rusted on. Me, I use this synthetic grease. It's for mostly cars. You know, it's synthetic. It's waterproof. It's heat proof. It's, like I said, for cars. Now, since we're fiddling with the chain, gloves. Keep your hands clean. Alright. Make sure your chainring is on properly. You don't want to go through all this and have to take it off because it's on wrong. You know, remember that little arrow? So it's lined up. Remember what I said about these? You don't want them both going in a straight line. Like I said, you're not going anywhere. So this one's hanging down. I want this one facing up. Push it on. It'll go tighter as you put the bolt in, which easy peasy. Just for safety's sake, you know, don't strip the threads, back thread it. Touch until it catches. It's hard to feel with gloves on, but there she goes. Get her in. Remember the other one I didn't tighten fully? Well, we got them lined up. So, time for the chain. You're gonna want to put that back on. Also got a narrow wide chain ring. So it won't come off. There we go. Now having this chain on will help provide some extra Some extra leverage. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, let's get these on. We're almost done. Again, I'm gonna have to resize the chain. We'll do that another time. I'm not taking this bike out, and I'm waiting for a new chain. So tighten this. It's getting tighter and tighter as you go. The bolts, by the way, I put a dab of grease on as well. Like, there. All right. So the more you move that pedal, the tighter it's going to get. That's it, basically, for changing them. Now we're going to have to set up the bike and get it all reacclimate, because remember, this came from a 48 tooth chainring. Just going to tighten the other side. Give this one more good punch down just to make sure it's on. Ah, she's tight. Same with this. Make sure she's on there real tight. That's as tight as it's gonna go. Now, the fun part, the pedals. Of course, obviously, you're gonna want the pedals back on. I mean, can't go anywhere without them, right? So, you're gonna want them. Let's do that. So, let's look. The pedals might be marked, they might not be marked. So this is our right side pedal. It's our drive side pedal. Want a dab of grease on there. Just on the threads, that's all you need. Just a dab. Literally, like, just a dab. It'll spread out as you put it in. Now, remember, pedals, when they go on, they thread towards the front. So let's get this started. At least these ones are harder to strip. All right. That's on. Let's get it a bit tighter. Grease really makes it easy. There we go. Again, no need to Superman tight it. Now we have the other side. So put a dab of grease on. A dab will do. And I didn't put my work gloves back on. Now my fingers are greasy. But that's what we got soap for. Now I'm gonna go walk around the bike. Get this pedal back on. It's a little bit darker over here. Apologize, but it is what it is. Again, just like the other side, turn it towards the front to tighten it. Give it a turn or two backwards to get the thread on straight, and you're good. There. Now just go around, tighten everything up, make sure everything's tight. It's always a good idea, right? Don't want your bike falling apart while you're riding. Whew. And then we'll get to the chain. Like, I'm waiting on a new one. I might just resize the one that's on there. I don't know. Depends how bad I want to ride this bike. Yeah. So, chain resize. Pretty simple, but I don't have a chain right now that has a master link. So I'm getting a new one. There's about 1 million YouTube videos on how to resize that. If I remember when I get the new one, I'll add it to this video. But until then, we changed the cranks, we changed the chainring, shrunk it from a 48 to a 32 tooth, and I hope that makes it a lot easier to pedal. Because like I said, this bike is impossible to pedal without the motor. I hate it. I really do. This thing was put together for speed, and I'm not a fast biker, but I do love fat biking. You don't need speed for fat biking. So, hope this helped. Hope you stayed through the whole thing and enjoyed. Smash that like button. It's gonna help me out. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.